What's up, friends? Another episode of Next Up with Nicole. I'm your host, Nicole Ryan, and this is my co-host and EP, Sarah Nekich. And we are lucky enough to be joined today by Gavin Haley. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Happy to be here, Nicole. Thank you for having me.
I got to tell you, number one, the vibe. You've got this energy right now. Maybe it's the sweatshirt, the yellow sweatshirt. Maybe it's a hot pink hat. Maybe it's your plant vibes that are around you.
The plant. It's the
plants. Okay.
We have to tell them that he had to purposely put the plant there before we started this because that set up the whole interview. So
yeah,
definitely not. That's for sure.
Okay, so talk about this. Are plants important to you? Are they important to your process? Important to your vibe?
Yeah. Absolutely. Plants are very important to me. I used to be the worst. I have the worst green thumb ever, but now I'm like, if I can take care of my plants, I can take care of myself. So it's been a personal mission of like the past year to, it's like once one has been thriving for a few months, I get another one and I've been adding. So,
okay. I don't know if you can see right here. I've got one right here. We have not killed him yet. I'm really proud of him. He doesn't have a name. I don't know why I keep calling him. Apparently he's male.
Wow.
Yeah. Right. I feel like we should name him. If you get any like name vibes during this hang, let me know because he doesn't have a name, but like, I am really proud of having this plant because I usually am not good at taking care of plants. They're a lot harder to take care of and keep alive than people think.
And they need love, time. They need attention, like just like everybody else. But also, if I interrupt you in the middle of this interview, that's gonna be my mind and thinking about that name. So I would just
that's fine. That's cool. I will give you that moment of peace.
Okay.
Really quickly before we get in, I'm sorry. Now I'm like fully invested in the whole plant deal. Do you talk to your plants? Are you one of those people? Because there are a lot of people who say that plants can hear you. They can feel you talking to them. They can feel your heart. They can feel everything that you give to them.
I definitely say hello in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you heard me venting too on the phone before.
Okay.
So that's good. But yeah.
Okay. I'm sure.
I do believe that. I mean, I believe that most things that are alive like have the ability to feel frequencies and like stress and like it's pretty wild. Yeah.
All right. Well, again, we're honored to have you here today, and you are in good company. We were lucky enough to have the Aces on recently, and they, I know, are on the same label as you. So that's pretty cool.
Those are my queens. They're the best.
Are they the shit or what? We are obsessed with that. Well, Sarah was, I mean, she's responsible for me knowing about them because she's such a fan.
I've been a stan of the Aces for a while. So yes,
they're unbelievable. Their live show is like, I mean, they're just so locked in. They've been a band since they were kids, truly. I mean, obviously them are sisters, but they're just so talented. And I go to their live shows as fans. Like it's a perk that we're on the same label, but like every time I go to a show, I'm just absolutely blown away. So that's awesome.
I love it. Well, I love that you are now part of the Next Up with Nicole family. That brings me a lot of joy. But let's get into you and let's bring it back to the beginning as I love to do. I know that before music was your thing, you were an athlete, you were a cyclist, and that is really where your passion was early on, correct?
Yeah, very, very true. Yeah. Okay. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I'm born in Michigan. My dad works for he's in the car business. And when I was like 2, moved to Louisville, and there's not really much to do out there. My mom homeschooled all of us, and I just found the bike really early on. I had this really tiny green bike with white tires with training wheels. And like when I was 2, I had my parents take those training wheels off. And I don't know.
2?
Yeah, I was better. I was really, truly better at riding a bicycle than I was walking. I couldn't like go upstairs properly until I was like 6. Wow. Like it's something that didn't click in my brain. But like the bike, I just felt so much freedom because I wasn't like on my feet.
Yeah.
That kind of turned into its own thing.
And now, was music something that happened alongside being in love with cycling, or did that happen after?
For sure. I think I've always been a fan of songs. There's just like when people ask like, what are some artists that inspired you? Like I can answer that question, but I more so than anything, I just remember songs like at key parts of my life. Mm-hmm. And obviously like cycling became like a pretty serious thing when I got into my early teen years, and music was a huge part of that because, you know, when you're training, you're listening to stuff and just traveling. But the big reason I fell in love with music is because I grew up heavily in the church. And so like, God knows the only thing getting me through those services was the worship. I grew up in like a super church for real. And like the worship, like they'd have like 10-piece bands, you know, production out the wazoo. So I feel like I always say Christian music is just pop music with different lyrics.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah, I was listening to that and I got into a choir earlier on, but I didn't never think that it was something I was gonna like do as a career. It was just I definitely have always had an ear and love music. So
Would you say that you like learned the intricacies of music and like hitting certain notes and and maybe singing duets or doing solos and like all the things that you do when you are in music in any way, shape, or form from being in church, harmonizing, all the things?
yeah, I would say I would definitely credit that, like, but like subconsciously, like things I didn't realize until say I did get into music. So racing took me overseas, and then I signed like as a professional, like 17, 18, and I only did that for like a year or two more. And during that time, like I was playing a lot of guitar and I started journaling and writing a little bit, and not even full songs, just writing like about my life and stuff. And that was when I realized, oh, like all this stuff I've heard, like I could make melodies up just kind of on the spot, I think from just hearing it for so long. Um, and I'm weird. I've always like studied things. Like if I love a song, I will listen to it 200 times in a day.
Right.
Like I kind of obsess over certain things. And yeah, I would say that played a big role in like also songwriting, because I just started studying my favorite artists and like, yeah, just kind of all connected.
I know that you suffered a pretty bad injury when you were competing. Would you say that music helped you through that? And
yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a bad crash. I was going down this hill. I shouldn't have been doing this. I never actually tell people what happened, because this was like 2 weeks before the World Championships, or like a week before, right? And my friend just got a new bike, and I was like, hey, let me get on that bike. Let me try it. And I went down the hill and like didn't like get in the pedals properly. Went over the bars. I fell like 25 feet, and there was like a ditch at the bottom, and at the top part, like my chest just so like shattered my ribs, collapsed my lung, whatever. Long story short, couldn't fly home because the pressure of the flight would,
of course.
And the medical flight was some crazy ass expense. So my parents were like, you're just gonna have to stay there, man. And
see you in a bit.
normally after like the race, then like you have a bunch of time to yourself. And I really was just alone and isolated. And that was the first time I kind of experienced that. And the guitar, like I just played every day for like 4 and 5 hours. And that was like, it's funny because people kind of connect the injury to like me stopping, but it was more so when I found my love for music, because I just had a lot of time to do different things.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it was an interesting time. I mean, I think about it all the time. It definitely was a change of direction. It was like there's 2 roads, and I went down the other one after that. So,
and sort of thank God that you had already found your love of music and for songs, as you say, because I mean, if you hadn't had that yet, who knows what you would have turned to or how you would have coped, because when people go through something traumatic like that, everybody copes in a different way. And the fact that you just had that on hand was, you should be very blessed, feel very blessed to have had that.
Big blessing for sure. There's a lot of more unhealthy things I guess I could have entertained. So
absolutely. So how would you say you were discovered? When was the moment? What was the thing? Who was the person? Where were you? What happened?
Today when I got on with Next Up, Nicole, I don't know. I think about that too, because I still don't even, as an athlete, I still don't feel like I'm there, But I came out here and I didn't know anybody, and that's not like a unique story. I know everyone pretty much does that, but I just started playing at every opportunity I could get, like every show that I could just play a song, like 1 song, 2 songs, it didn't matter. Open mic. I started hanging out in Venice a lot, and I got plugged into this place called the Winston House, and just was meeting a lot of artists. And because of that, started playing a lot of house shows over there. And yeah, I guess people were enjoying the stuff. And then labels started coming out and watching, and then that kind of happened. And I put out my first song, Independent, which actually isn't on DSPs anymore. It's just like on YouTube and stuff, but it kind of took off. It did like 1 million streams out of nowhere on its own. And
just 1 million. No big deal.
I was blown away. I was
okay, good.
Yeah, at the time, that's part of being in it, like everything I wanted 3-4 years ago, like I've been blessed enough to like see it come to fruition, and now it's like you just want more. That's like my biggest, I would say, like I don't know what the word is, like that's one of the best things for me, because it keeps me moving. I'm never satisfied, but it's also like my biggest downfall, because I have trouble like being happy with things. But like back then it was like crazy, and so that kind of happened, and then my whole journey with Red Bull started, and we've been together since then.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, I love your sound. You've said, the church kind of influenced it, but like it's a blend of R&B and pop, and it's so fresh. Like, did you come into that sound after a couple EPs, or like, how do you feel you got to where you are today as the Gavin Haley sound?
Just being inspired by a lot of music and not conforming to like any type of, I have trouble like when people ask what type of genre I do. I just kind of make what I like to hear. I will say, like, when I got my first iPhone, that was the first time I found new sounds. And Mac Miller was a really big influence when I was like 16 years old.
I loved him so much.
Yeah. Unbelievable music. And so I've always just loved to rap, but I've always at the same time been like, I'm not a rapper. Like, I don't know what I am. I'm inspired by sounds. I like to say I could do anything, but I don't know. I like to listen to a lot of stuff. And then when I go into the studio, I just try and tell a story, and depending on what I'm saying, that comes out in different sonic ways. And I'm very proud of how, like, especially this newest body of work coming out is like, I really feel like I found a good balance of those two.
Oh my gosh. Are you just bursting at the seams to get it out?
Absolutely. Like, you live with something for so long, and I'm getting better at it, but everyone's different. I used to get like tremendous anxiety on release day because, you make a song and you live with it for a year, and then you're like, oh, I don't know if I like this song anymore. Is it even good? Or like, and then it's called, like, I call it release day, like grief. It's just like, you've worked so hard on something and you kind of released it to the world, and you're like, well, I hope they accept it how I intended it to. But I don't really feel pressure like that anymore. Like, I feel like the pandemic, I put out music that didn't do anything. I put out music that did do well. Like, now I'm just excited to have it come out. So
I've said this many times. I mean, again, I'm not an artist, but I would liken it to what it's like. I mean, I have given birth, and I feel like, you live with this thing inside of you, you're comfortable with it, you've fallen in love with it, you've grown with it, and then you give it, it comes out into the world, and it's like, now what? And then, like, you don't know, like, because you've lived with it and probably listened to this music and these songs over and over, and maybe changed them a little bit, or your thought about them has changed a little bit. You don't know how the audience is going to react. Are they going to give it one listen and be like, this is shit? Are they going to give it a few, and kind of like certain songs, like, you'll marinate on and all of a sudden they grow on you? Like, there's a lot of pressure there. So I can understand that anxiety.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in today's world. Like, I really don't feel like people actively listen to music. You have to shove something down somebody's face, like, until they're like, oh, this is hot. Like, my little brother, I showed him music I thought was incredible in 2019, but they weren't like popping yet. And all of a sudden then they were popping. He's like, yo, check this out. Like, I feel like people really listen to things. There is obviously people who still do. And like the people that go to shows, like, those are real fans and, music lovers. But in today's world, if the way that you perceive success is by like how many times somebody pressed play, I think you can get down on yourself very quickly.
Yeah. So, drive yourself crazy.
I got to get my computer charger. By the way, your plant seems like a Desmond to me.
Desmond, there it is. Sarah?
Yo, that's Desmond.
It's Desmond. Oh my God, I can't wait to tell my family. Matt and Parker and Keegan, my dog. Leo, do you think this is Desmond? Oh, he just blinked. He thinks it's Desmond 100%. And I love that you didn't forget.
It definitely seemed like a Desmond to me.
That's love, Gavin. That's love. All right. You got your computer charger. Good. Because it's time to play a little game. Okay. Time to take a breather. Okay. We're going to take a step back from the music for just a second. We're going to go back to your cycling days and really try to get to know you a little bit. So when you cycle, it's pretty basic. We've all ridden a bike. You're either going uphill or you're going downhill. And when you're going uphill, like an uphill battle, things are a little bit difficult. And when you're going downhill, it's a lot easier. Things seem to be going a lot easier. So we're going to give you activities that we all do or don't do. You tell us whether you do them, and if it's an easy activity, it's a downhill activity for you, or it's like something that's like, it's not an easy thing for you. This does not come easy to you at all. It's uphill. Okay. Uphill or downhill.
Give two answers.
Getting to sleep at night, uphill or downhill?
Depends, but mostly downhill these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of artists, that's like a real uphill battle. Like their mind never stops. And so they can't get to sleep.
Well, I'm not even an artist, and I can't go to sleep at night, dude. Like
that is the case, but it happens so long during the day that I'm just worn out at the evening. It's like, you can try.
Okay. Playing the piano, uphill or downhill?
Flat.
Oh, flat.
Yeah, I'm good at
the third option. We love it.
I love a third option. Flat road.
I'm good at what I can do, but I'm trying to be better always. So
okay. Sarah, why don't you take the next one?
All right, cooking, uphill or downhill?
Uphill for what I don't know. Like, yeah, I'm definitely I would definitely not make any of those chef shows, but I like what I make.
Okay. But like, would you
Like,
say
it might not be impressive, like on a date or something. That might be like, congratulations, you made pasta. Like,
okay, you boiled pasta. Wait,
Yeah.
so can you like, would you say on a weekly basis, you order in more or you cook more?
it's about 50%.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fixing a car, uphill or downhill? Can you get under a car and fix it?
No, uphill.
Can you change a tire?
Yeah, downhill.
Okay. Okay. All right. I can't do that. Okay.
I can change a tire. You don't know how to change a tire?
I don't know how to change a tire. We actually got a flat on the way to a wedding recently. And my husband looked at me and he was like, you want to do it? I was like, oh, that's so cute. He was like, we've been married for so long. I never knew you didn't know how to change a tire. I do not know how to change a tire. I should probably learn, but I usually just call a guy. Just call the guy.
Definitely a beneficial thing to know how to do.
Yes, you are correct. You are correct. All right, go ahead, Sarah.
All right, juggling, uphill or downhill?
Uphill.
Yeah.
I actually can't juggle. I can't juggle. That's hard.
I can do like 3 tosses and then it's over.
Things. Does that count as juggling? I juggle my anxiety and career every day.
There you go. Okay, writing a song, sitting down and writing a song that you love, uphill or downhill?
It's always downhill because I enjoy the process, but there are days where it feels uphill, because I think the better you get at something, and I'm sorry, this is a long answer, but I think the better you get at something, like the more you know how good it could be. Like early on, when I first started writing songs, I'd fly through and be like, yeah, this is hot. And now I'm a lot more critical at like what I want to say or what I want to come out. So
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Sarah.
Awesome. Waking up early, uphill or downhill?
Uphill. I do it.
You do it, but you don't like it.
Yeah, it's not the best.
If you were left to your like own devices and you had nothing to wake up for, what time would your body naturally wake up?
It's like a cool like 9:30.
Oh,
that's valid.
For someone
I wake up
who,
at 9:30.
I hate both of you. How about that? But you know what? I thought we were friends. The friendship's ending. I wake up with the ass crack of dawn every single morning, but that's because I'm on the radio. So, okay. And finally, dating, uphill or downhill?
Out here, uphill.
Yeah.
100%. West Coast is tricky.
Yeah.
And it's not even like I think people like, it's just different out here. And a lot of people come out here to be something. So, it's tough to kind of get beneath the surface level.
Yeah.
All the times you meet somebody in the first couple questions they ask you have nothing to do with like how you made them feel. It's more like, what can you do for me?
What can you do for me? That's all. That's what LA is, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, I've had some beautiful connections with people out here. And I mean, it's always, I think dating's always uphill though, because oftentimes you get really comfortable in your own skin when you're alone, and then you meet somebody who shakes your whole reality up. So
yeah. All right. Just before we end, I just need to know, are we dating anybody now? When was your last relationship? Do you have your eye on somebody? Give me the juice. As he sips his tea and he's like, fuck off, Nicole.
My album comes out July 15th.
I love you.
I hate you don't read me. That's what it's called.
Oh, I love you. I love you.
Chatting with you. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're the best. You're the best. No, we're not done with you yet. All right. So let's get back into the music. Thank you for playing uphill or downhill. You just killed that. You just killed the uphill downhill game. We got a name for my plant. Things are going well. All right. So you released your first EP, Long Game, in 2019 and your second EP during the pandemic. What was your process like during that time? How did it change? Obviously, it was different for any artist before the pandemic, then in the middle of it, trying to make something happen, and now sort of coming out of it. How has that changed over those time periods?
I mean, I think for obviously, it was just a lot more open. When I was making Long Game, it was just sessions in person, like very, very easy. Just like I did. Long Game was the type of project where I went in with like 30, 40 different producers and just made the best songs I could and compiled them. And then with Unfolding, I actually wrote most of those songs January, February of 2020. And so it was like, we were so excited with the music we created. And like, we made all these really upbeat songs. Like I was excited to perform live, and then March came around. So it was like, oh, fuck. Like, damn, like a lot was going really well for me at the end of 2019. I had a song called The Way I Am Really Moving. And it was the first time I felt that momentum. And the releasing in 2020 was way different. I think I couldn't have written more wrong songs for the time. Like, It's just, yeah, that's how I went. But at the same time, it was a good for me. Like the whole pandemic was, that release was fun because it was the first time I've really taken a lot of time for myself since I started here. You know, I actually spent a lot of time in Mexico in 2020 just hanging out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And like that project came out while I was there. People, I found it to be more safe and less terrifying than being here. So I just hung out there.
Is it odd that I don't find that shocking? I mean, like, honestly.
Completely valid.
Yeah.
You go into grocery stores and there's still stuff on the shelves. And
Yeah.
people like respected your space. And
What's that like?
Yeah, exactly.
You recently released your new single, Cliche. Can you give us a backstory on that? What's that all about?
Oh, I had a fight with somebody.
Okay.
And I was really upset that we weren't seeing eye to eye on something. I thought that was really simple, but I guess it's how it goes, you know. When you're in a confrontation, you think you're correct. Anyway, I pulled up to the studio. I was listening to Justin Timberlake on the way.
Obviously.
Yeah, as we do. And I got in there and I just was like, man, I want to make something. I want to speak my mind, not in like a sad boy way. Because most of the time when I'm writing songs, it's like, yo, I can't cut through to you. Like, why are we not communicating? And that has been very true. A lot of those are the feelings I felt. But in this moment, I was just pissed. And I was like, yo, can we get some live drums going? I was listening to a lot of New Jabez at the time. And it just came about. That song was really fast.
What's your fighting style if you do argue with somebody, family, friend, so whoever you're dating? Like, are you somebody who's stubborn? Do you hold a grudge? Are you someone who can calmly sit down? Do you need a minute before you can talk? Like, I'm an animal. Like, you don't want to fight with me. I'm just like,
I would like to say I'm very difficult to get upset.
Okay.
I don't get upset quickly. Like I do communicate things before I get to that level. But I am a passionate person. I'm an Aries. So like if I'm upset, I definitely vocalize how I feel. I've gotten a lot better at being calm because I find that being loud or being mad doesn't really get done what you want, you know. If you're having to get there like at that level, it's like I don't think it's beneficial anymore.
Yeah.
I've gotten really good at just being very direct and calm.
You should teach me the ways. I mean, I'm still working on it really hard.
I can't imagine you fighting with someone. Nicole.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh man.
Oh, what do you mean? They're on the freeway with the pop tires. She's like, what the fuck?
Oh my goodness. Well, you've recently toured with Tate McRae.
Love her.
Amazing. We had Dylan on here who also toured with Tate McRae. We got a lot of Tate McRae people.
Yeah.
But what was it like hitting the road? What's it like doing the live Gavin Haley performance? Like, tell us about it.
That's what I live for. First off, being on the road with her was magical. Her whole team was a blessing to work with, but her fans were they were just the best.
Yeah.
Like every show, whether I thought I had a bad show or whether it was just, they always received me very well. I felt really safe. And yeah, it's what I live for, like live music. I know a lot of people who don't enjoy touring, but I'm the opposite. I mean, it is a grind and it's very draining, but like for me, it kind of refills my tank, you know, if you will. You work. And like, that's where you see results, especially as a former athlete. Like for me, that's the race, you know, getting to actually be out there and can't wait to get back out there. It was a beautiful, I can't even remember how many shows we did together, but I had a blast. It was like a month. So
she is so special. Did you get to like mess around with her backstage? Like musically, did you guys get to write or just kind of like sing together at all?
We didn't write or nothing, but yeah, we definitely had some interactions and she's so talented. Like when I first watched, I mean, I just wasn't, I know, of course I knew how good she was in songwriting, but I wasn't aware like how well she can move. Like her live show, she is dancing, like really like moving, and I was blown away. She had this one song where she put like her leg like way above her head, and I was like, what's going on? Like,
well, yeah, I mean, the kid can dance. It's unreal.
Yeah. It was a good time.
Okay, so the newest single, Mine, tell us about this song.
Yeah, the song is heart-wrenching. Wow. It's really connecting right now with me in my life. I think it's about I know what it's about, but I think generally people are going to hear it and just it's the message of missing something more after it's gone. And so for some reason you can only remember the good things once you're removed from something, you know. I think that's like a big downfall of people, is like you go away from something and after the initial shock, all you can kind of do is reminisce. And it's about knowing that this was the right thing for you, but still missing somebody terribly. And it's an anthem. I really think people are going to connect with the song, and it's probably the most catchy song I've ever put out. So
Yay, I'm so excited. I think we all do that as human beings. We are like kings and queens of romanticizing. It's very easy once something is gone, whether it's a person, a job, like a home, like whatever it is, to like, you know, even though it might be the right thing not to be with that thing or that person anymore, like all you can remember is like, oh my God, but when we did this and oh, it was like this. And it's just
the little things. That's what gets me for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so real.
You split up over the big things, but then all you can remember is like, oh, I love like grocery shopping with that person.
Yeah. Yeah. Or just laying and laughing, Netflix and chilling, all the little things. Okay. Well, I'm stoked about that song. And now we've got the debut album, I Hate You, Don't Leave Me, releasing July 15th. What can we expect? What types of sounds? Are there any collaborations? Something you're most excited for on it?
My favorite song on it is a song called Blue Hour and Paper Walls. I think it's just seeing the most evolved side of me. I mean, I'm really proud of, I didn't settle in terms of the writing on this. And I don't want to say that I have in the past, but I really fought for newer concepts and just being as raw as I could. A lot of these songs are like directly what I would say to somebody or the person I wrote them about. And, you know, I think you're just a continuation of what you've gotten from me, but I'm definitely growing. And it's like the last project was here. This one's here. You know, I'm really proud of that. And it's my debut album. It's a big moment for me.
That'll be a large birth. That'll be a long labor.
The biggest birth of all births.
It's been a year and a half birth so far. It's just about to actually come out to the world. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Collaborations wise, like that's still, I think on the initial coming out, though, there's no features on it, but like that's something I'm kind of waiting for after it comes out. I'm definitely gonna have some remixes.
Okay, cool. Okay, that's very exciting. You know, you've obviously been in good company, you know, touring with great people. We just said Tate McRae. I know you toured with Ash, who is a huge family and friend of my show, my radio show, The Morning Mashup. She is just something else.
She's special. She really
is.
We really connected outside of music. Like, just when we were on tour, like she would, every time we stopped, she would go put her feet on the grass and like ground herself. And that's really the wave I'm on too. Like she actually got me, I would credit Ash to get me into journaling before we got on the tour. She sent this long email and she was like, you know, long hours on the road, like it's easy to kind of not take care of yourself. And I started writing on that tour and I haven't stopped since. Like, I mean, I've journaled before, but this was really like, there's a difference between writing out your feelings when you're upset and just daily, even when you don't want to, like writing about what's happening. You know, I learned a lot about myself because of her. So
yeah, I feel like it's super amazing therapy. It's cathartic. I feel like anybody, not even just an artist on the road. I mean, I think all humans could benefit from journaling.
Facts. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. All right. So you've obviously toured with amazing people, like I said, always in good company. Can we expect a solo tour from you anytime soon? Is that something that's in the future?
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my ultimate goal. Like,
okay.
If you said like, what are you trying to do? I'm trying to headline tour. I think there might be one more opening slot before that happens. But that's for sure in the cards and definitely expect that.
All right, cool. All right. And finally, what is next up for you? I mean, whether it's musically or just in your life, do you have any vacations planned? Anything that you're going to be doing that you're excited about? Any other projects that you're working on?
I'm writing a lot. That never switches. I got to go to a fitting for something in like an hour. That's very messed up.
Are you going to tell us what that is?
No, probably not.
Damn.
I think I'm going to go to Asia this winter. I've never been before. I have a lot of amazing fans there, so I'm looking forward.
I know you do. That's so freaking cool. And you've never been?
Never been. Yeah, so
wow.
Fans are going to love that. That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, but that's about it off the top of my head.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well, like I always say, don't always say, but I'm going to say it now. Gavin Haley, you are 1,000,000% what is next. I mean, I am so honored. I know Sarah is too, to get to know you and hang with you. And I'd love to hang with you in person. We can chill. You, me, Sarah, Desmond.
Yeah. Desmond has to be there.
It's got to happen.
They don't look like they're going anywhere anytime soon.
No. But thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
For having me. I appreciate you.
Of course. You're a rock star, Gavin. Thank you so much. This has been Next Up with Nicole.